towards the end. And very warm welcome to all of you to today's edition of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. I'm excited to be back. Actually, I just made it in time. It was a bit of a race against time today, but I'm glad I was able to make it. After a long time, I had to go to office today and somehow scraped through just in time. So welcome everybody. Let me share my screen and we will get started. So we are discussing a very important topic, Brahma, Jeeva and Maya, and we have started discussing Maya, and we will go deeper into Maya today to understand some more aspects about Maya, especially how it is able to perform its job function to perfection. That is what we are going to discuss today. So let me share my screen and we will get started with the topic of our discussion today. So let me share my screen. Okay. All right, so let's get started by invoking the blessings of God and Guru. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Tam Swachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. All right. So Radhe Radhe, good morning, good evening once again. Let's get started. The shloka that we are doing is chapter 7, verse 14, where Lord Krishna is talking about Maya. So I'll recite it and you are welcome to follow along to get started. Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya me tam taranti te. All right, do we have any volunteers today? Can see a few hands, so let's get started.
Radhe Radhe, Shyamji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Shyamji.
Devi Hesha Gunmayi Mammaya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya me tam taranti te. Radhe Radhe.
Wonderful, very nice, Shyamji. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Sandhya ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Sandhya.
Radhe Radhe. Daivi Hesha Gunmayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mamev Ye Prapadyante Maya Me Tam Taranti Te.
Very nice, thank you, Sandhya. Okay, let's
Rahul ji, yeah, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Rahul.
Radhe Radhe, Hare Krishna. Devi Hesha Gudmayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mamev Ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Taranti Te. Radhe Radhe.
Jai Shri Ram, Radhe Radhe.
Dinesh ji, Radhe Radhe, please go
Radhe
ahead.
Dinesh.
Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya me tam taranti te.
Very nice, Dinesh. Radhe Radhe. All right, last two hands.
Yes, Riya ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Riya ji.
Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante मायामेतं तरन्ति ते.
Wonderful, Riyaji.
Radhe
Very
Radhe.
nice. Radhe Radhe. All right. Have we covered all the hands? Okay,
Yes.
that was quick today. So let's get started. Lord Krishna is saying this one, my divine energy, Maya. So he has qualified this energy as his energy and divine energy. Then he goes on to say, consisting of the three modes of nature. Three modes of nature, we have been introduced to this concept already. We are not going to get into too much of detail today. There's a full chapter devoted to this itself, which is Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. He says is very difficult to overcome. But those who surrender unto me cross over it easily. So, Maya, the battle with Maya is a losing battle. Okay, we cannot defeat Maya because it is the very energy of God Himself. Defeating Maya is equal to defeating God Himself. So let's go more deeper into the concept of Maya. So Ramayana says that so dasi Raghubir ki samujhe mithya sopi. Now there is a branch of Sanatan Dharam itself. There are philosophies, and one branch of it, the philosophy says that Maya is mithya. Mithya means non-existent. It's like you in a dream state, and when you will wake up, basically Maya will not exist. Okay? But actually, this is an energy of God. An energy of God cannot be mithya. It is defined as asat. So there is a difference between mithya and asat. Mithya is something which does not exist. Asat is something that exists but which is temporary. Okay? So Maya is asat, not mithya. Okay, we will get into the concept of the unreal part of it as well, right? The Gyanis say this world itself is mithya, and Dvaiti says no, the world is not mithya. And Maharajji explained that both are true. The external world is a veritable form of God itself. It exists, although it is temporary. In addition to that, there is even a bigger world than the external world that we have. You know what is that world? The world that resides within us. That is unreal. The inner world or internal world is unreal. So we will talk about the difference between internal world and external world also. That is mithya. When you go to sleep, when you deep sleep, you are not even aware who you are. Right? Your world ceases to exist. And when you wake up, all of a sudden, okay, bring it on. What are my problems in life? What are my ragas? What are my dveshas? All that comes into existence. And that is something which is very, very subjective. So that part is called mithya, unreal part of it. But this part, what we are talking about, the Maya is very much real. Okay, it's a veritable form of God. God has permeated every atom of it. So it is not unreal, but it is asat, which is temporary. Furthermore, Lord Krishna has mentioned that because it is his energy, it is difficult to overcome. And if somebody claims they have defeated Maya, it's as good as saying they have defeated God. Not possible. And nobody can conquer God, and Maya is invincible. And the human mind, which is made up of Maya, so using that mind, any yogi, jnani, ascetic, karmi, etc., they can control the mind. No, they cannot completely control the mind. They cannot conquer the mind on their self-effort alone. Okay, so this is the key concept. So as you look at this guy, he's trying to climb to moon using this ladder. Is it possible? I don't know if it's possible or not. But yeah, it's not possible. So that is the attempt anybody can make if they think they can conquer Maya using their own means or without the grace of God. So you cannot climb the moon. It's a similar concept there as well. It's just not possible to do that. Now let's move on to the topic of our discussion today that we are going to discuss in great detail. What we are going to talk about today is that you see all these different aspects of Maya, the fame and the supposed happiness, the power play, the richness, all that stuff that we see in Maya. And we are going to talk about the concept of that Maya is doing its job perfectly. Okay, that is one thing that we will talk in great detail today. And how aspect is what we are going to talk about. So let's move on. So far we have discussed this aspect that God has, there are three entities, Maya, that the topic that we are discussing today, the Jeeva Shakti that we are going to start discussing maybe in tomorrow's discussion, and the Swarupa Shakti, the internal energy that we will pick up towards the end. We also spoke about the possibilities of the Jivatmas. We barely touched upon that topic, where we said it is Vibhinansh, although it is all God. Our scriptures also say there is only one entity, God, and all of that is part of God only. So those Vibhinansh also fall into three categories: the Nitya Siddh, the Sadhan Siddh, and the Nityabadh. We unfortunately fall into the Nityabadh category. People who work their way towards God realization, they are called Sadhan Siddh. And then there are some true VIPs also, even though they are Vibhinansh, they are called Nitya Siddh. They are eternally liberated souls. And we are Nityabadh, we have always been work in progress, and that is why we are here. And once we perfect our devotion, sadhan bhakti and God's para bhakti is mixed with it, and then we do God realization, that's when we will be called sadhan siddh, right? How nice it sounds basically when we say we will be called sadhan siddh. Okay, then we can put that in front of our degrees, MBA, BTech, sadhan siddh also. That will be a nice qualification credential to have. Okay, so this is what we discussed. Then we spoke about the concept of Maya. It is just like we latching onto a tree and saying, leave me, leave me, leave me. Right? And then we looked at the smart monkey as well, which is gotten itself trapped because it is not willing to let go of the pleasure that it is getting with the prospect of enjoying something which is holding it back to the very thing it's trying to escape. I think I said a long sentence which was very complicated, but I guess it made sense. Right? So only if it lets go of this banana will it be able to cross over or get outside of Maya. And this banana, we all find our banana or a list of bananas in every life. Okay, it could be a banana or it could be a peanut. And we all are latching onto that, and because of which we are repeating in this world. Now we only have to reflect what is our banana and what is our peanut, which we find so hard to let go of. So you can put a list of your bananas and keep reflecting on it because we have to let go of it. And as soon as we let go of it completely, God has said, I'm waiting for you. That's what I wanted you to do. Okay. So we are stuck like this monkey. And that is the story of our life. And that is why we are here in the world of Maya. Now, let's get into this concept. Fame, power, and money. These are the things which are typically associated for being the yardstick of success in this world. Wow, how famous this person is. Wow, how powerful this person is. He enjoys so much of power. And these things attract us. If somebody becomes famous, for some, becoming famous is the only goal of life. Right? Famous for right reasons or wrong reasons, but famous. And then becoming powerful also gives a lot of kick to people. Right? When you have power, when you know somebody, it gives you a sense of good sense, basically, feel good factor. Like in Delhi, they say everybody is somebody. You go out in a bus and every second person will say, shall I show you my identity card? And then if you truly tell them, yeah, show me, they don't have anything to show for, but everybody's claiming, who I am, who's who kind of a person. So power gives us a lot of kick as well. And money, of course, money talks, right? A lot of people, if you know, so many NBA stars and people who make it big, they have a gang of people. They get swarmed by so many people. Why does it happen? Because they have money. And as soon as their money is gone, by the way, most of them die bankrupt. They have no friends left. So that is how this whole power play, money play, and the fame play goes. But these three things of Maya, they actually corrupt you. They are called intoxicating and eventually disappointing. This is the key thing here. It will eventually disappoint you. It's not that somebody has become happy by getting any of this. Somebody became famous and they became happy eternally ever after. No. In fact, it is said that, Rajesh Khanna, we know, I mean, I'm not that old, but people from the previous generation would tell me that he was, very, very super. He was the first superstar, so to say. And people would swarm in front of his house on his birthday, like they do for Shah Rukh Khan these days, even now. And on one of his birthdays, he was found in tears on his balcony. Why? There was not even a single bird, single soul who had come there. So were they saluting Rajesh Khanna or were they saluting his fame? Is the question to be asked. The fame that he had at that point in time, as soon as it evaporated, people also evaporated. So that is how the relations go in world. You go around, saluting your prime minister, this and that. Once he becomes an ordinary person, would you still care? Probably not. So fame, although it is intoxicating, it is not everlasting. It goes away. Like we have seen with big, big stars, it happens. Same thing with power. For as long as you are in power, you will get all the salutes, even on 26th January and all. Once you're out of power, nobody's going to ask you for anything. And money aspect as well. Now, the problem with these three things is that it is intoxicating, first of all, and it corrupts. These are like generals of Maya. Nobody can escape that. And that is why if you are a devotee, one thing you can be rest assured, you're not going to hit a jackpot in Vegas. Because God knows if you do that, it will corrupt you. So if you have truly become a devotee, give up the hope of hitting the jackpot, okay? Now don't say that I will not become a devotee because I want to hit a jackpot. God typically wants good for you. It is one of the poisons, these three things that I'm talking about, because unless you are spiritually very advanced, then you can handle even the fame aspect of it. In fact, bhakti can also corrupt you. How it can corrupt you? You started doing bhakti and then people started following you. Oh, you are so and so great, you have this and that corrupts people. You think, okay, my God, so many people adore me, they talk about me, and it can also corrupt. These are all generals of Maya that we need to be careful about. Now, and they are eventually disappointing. Nobody has become happy having that. In fact, very few people, they have the privilege of going a full circle in life. I mean, most of the people, they only continue to crave for money, power, and fame. Few people, they get it in their lifetime, right? Because of their past sanskars and a combination of hard work as well. And even those people who reach the peak of material success, they find that it is very lonely at the top. They still did not got the kick or the happiness that they hoped they would. Still, they don't feel that. And then they start doing philanthropy to feel maybe that is going to fill the void that they still feel, right? Look at the big names here. They've started doing philanthropy. Maybe let's eliminate AIDS, let's do this, let's do that. You find a cause now. So they start getting into sattvic mode because even money is not giving you that aha thing, which our scriptures have told us long back. Right? Very clearly said it's not going to give you. So these are the things, but ordinary people, they only crave for these things, thinking these are going to give us happiness. The second aspect of it is, when I talk about disappointment, let's look at the graph here. For any of these things, let's say one of these is a goal of your life, to become famous or to get a lot of power or money. In order to acquire it, okay, you have to endure pain. Okay, it's not going to come free of cost. You have to endure pain and do a lot of hard work even to get that. Once you got there, then also there is a pain and there is insecurity of losing it or maintaining it. Right? People who become star, they are very insecure after that. What if the new actor or an actress comes up who's going to shine more than they do? All the time they have to look good. All the time they have to live up to an image that they have created. All the time the politicians have to be careful about the subjects being aligned to them or how to, be in control of their power. So getting to that position takes a lot of effort and pain. Maintaining that takes a lot of effort and pain and insecurity and anxiety that you have to deal with. And finally, when it is snatched away from you, which is just a matter of time, there is again pain of losing it. So in material world, pain, pain, pain. On the spiritual world, it's not pain, it's a joyful process. It gives you peace, ever growing peace. And once you become God realized, then of course you are a done deal, right? So this effort that we look at it in material world, which eventually disappoints us, that means the Maya is doing its job. If it would make you happy, then everybody would go for that, and there would absolutely be no incentive for humans to get out of this material world. If you could become happy without improving yourself, that will defeat the very purpose of Maya of the or of this creation. Okay, I hope you paid close attention to that. If we could become happy without truly becoming better, then the purpose of creation will not be served. So the purpose of creation is not to make you happy. You will get happiness as a byproduct of it once you start improving yourself. And that is the whole purpose of Maya and this creation as well. You become better, you purify your mind, you will feel better joy, more happiness, and more success in life. It's a very simple formula. The happiness that you feel, or the contentment that you feel, or the peace that you feel is directly proportional to the quality of your mind. If you're not happy, that means quality of your mind is not good. So Maya in itself is doing its job to perfection by disappointing you with whatever you want to go for. It may give you a bit of a honey drop, that kind of a dangling carrot, but eventually it will disappoint you. And I said, right, one of the irrefutable laws of this universe is that whichever material thing you think is going to give you happiness will eventually disappoint you and will become a cause for your disappointment or sorrow only. And Maya will continue to live up to that promise because that is how the world is designed. Okay, let's look at it through some more examples. I will ask you a few questions. So keep your thinking's cap on because we'll have a little bit of a stimulation here. So Maya is termed as a gymnasium for all of us, right? We go to gym to develop muscles and tone ourselves. So this world is designed to be a gymnasium for all of us, where we keep on becoming stronger, better, and basically getting all the skills and the right mindset that we need to continue to progress towards God. So from that sense, it is a gymnasium that has been created for us. It is also called a university of hard knocks. Okay, you see the teacher, Maya Devi, and you see the two kids who are being pulled up from their ears like teachers would do in our school. I used to get that kind of a punishment very often in school. So Maya Devi does the same to all of us. It will continue to do that. Okay. Tormenting us is the job of Maya because we are actually in the jailhouse or the prison of God. We are in a reformatory. And if you go to prison and you ask the caddies or the prisoners that, are you unhappy? So they will say yes, then that is a good thing because they are meant to be unhappy. If they are saying we are happy, then there is a problem. That means they have no incentive to get out of the jail. So Maya Devi is actually doing the hard knocks to tell us this is not the right place for you. And there's a quotation from Swami Vivekananda as well, who said that the world is the great gymnasium where we come to make ourselves strong. So we are addicted to this gymnasium and we keep coming back to this gymnasium. This is where the problem is happening right now. Okay. Now let's move on from this gymnasium. Let's look at it from another perspective. Okay. So this is a university of hard knocks. This is not a place for where we will come in as what do you call that God's son-in-law and meted out a great treatment, right? Like people become the damad or son-in-law of government during winter season in Tihar jail. They do petty thefts so that they get picked up, go to the jail, can have a little bit of a meal, a roof on top of their head, and a cozy sleep because winters are so harsh. Similarly, when we come here, if God makes or Maya makes our life comfortable, then it is not serving the purpose. We'll have no incentive to improve ourselves. We will not learn our lessons and we will say, okay, game on, we just want to stay here only. Okay, so that's how it's meant to be. Let's look at it further. Here is a piece of rock, right? And for it to become a beautiful idol or a sculpture, it needs to get some filing has to happen, some chiseling has to happen, right? That chiseling is pain basically that you have to take. And who's doing this filing and chiseling? Maya is doing its job. Maya in action. Maya is like a sandpaper which is working on us to file us till we become that perfect idol that we need to become. And it will continue to do that job. Okay. So it should not come as a surprise or news for us that, Maya is going to torment us, or we are likely to encounter obstacles, troubles, pains, and challenges in life. That is how it has been designed. Because we are turned our back to God. That means we have become bereft of God consciousness. There's a beautiful quote from Helen Keller. She said that character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. By the way, Helen Keller, she was, deaf and blind. And she said that life basically is a beautiful symphony. She could actually look at her state and still be positive in life because that's a choice she made. She said that. Now, let me ask you a question. Here you see a hand in fire, not a good sight, right? It's definitely not a good sight. Now, with that said, is pain a good thing or a bad thing in this case? Let's have a bit of a discussion on this. Yes, Sandhya, you are the first one today.
Please go ahead, Sandhya ji.
Yes, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe
Pain
Radhe.
is a good thing here. If pain wouldn't be there, then the person won't realize that the hand is getting burnt and we won't take it back. So,
You are listening to Swamiji's discourses, so I can see that. Very nice. Yes, a couple of other hands. Let's hear from them as well.
Sam ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Like Sandhya said, the same thing. If the pain is there, if you feel the pain, only then you will realize that something is burning, so you will take your hands back. But if you don't take it back, if the pain is not there, maybe the person is paralyzed unless that kind of situation is there, then it's a different story. So that means that the hand will be the guy, maybe the hand or the whole body may get burned.
True. Very true. Yes, Monica ji, you wanted to add something?
Radhe Radhe Monica ji, please go ahead. Let me please unmute. Yes.
Radhe Radhe everyone. No, I was typing to Nitin ji that Sandhya got my answer, the same thing. That unless, yeah.
Okay. You all stole my thunder then. Nilesh ji is going to say something different. Nilesh ji is going to say something different then.
Radhe Radhe, Nilesh ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. So the first thought that came to my mind was it is a bad thing. But then I heard the answers and I said,
Great.
Yeah, so I did not realize that angle when everyone else said it. So I was going to say it's a bad thing that you should pull the hand back.
Great. I'm glad you thought it because unless we have heard Swamiji's lectures, the very first thing, it's of course something bad is happening. Now I will map it to the life analogy part of it and then we'll reflect on it. How do we look at it in perspective? Yes, iPhone PS XSG.
Yes, iPhone G, please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. My name is Preeti. I'll edit that. Yeah.
No worries.
Okay, hi, good morning and Radhe Radhe.
Radhe
So the way I see is it's a form of a realization. If a realization of burning is not there, there would be a destruction.
Beautiful.
So yeah, so I see it to a depth of realization and destruction.
Very true. Very nicely articulated. Where are you joining us from, PTG?
I reside in Kanpur.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm in India, in Kanpur.
So did you start joining now or you've been joining for a while?
No, today is the first time that I explored this. I've been reading the books.
Okay, got it. Very nice. Welcome to the session. And we look forward to hearing more from you. So we have it every day. So keep coming and
whatever is for me, I will be there for sure.
Sure. Thank you. Beautiful point. Yes, very, very nicely articulated. That's true. So Ajit ji wanted to add something to it, and you can continue.
Radhe Radhe. Ajit ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Nitinji, this is very true, not only in this case, but in for all over the body. The pain is like a sensor to warn you. Similarly, the fear, that is also a positive sign to safeguard yourself.
Very true.
Fear of fire or burning. But
Yes,
at
very
the same time, we should not have a phobia.
Mhm.
This is what I wanted to put a new point for your pondering, that how to get rid of Maya phobia. Radhe Radhe.
Maya-phobia. I think there must be a term for that as well, right? We have agoraphobia, claustrophobia, hydrophobia, allodoxophobia, and so many phobias.
Yes.
Maya-phobia, there must be a term for that. But yes, let's continue with the discussion. So what we are having, that's pain. See, there is one bad thing happening and one good thing happening here. The bad thing is, of course, the hand is on fire, and it's not good. Burning is not good. The pain is a good thing. Why it is a good thing? Because now it is telling the hand to take an evasive action, that something is not right. You need to take some evasive action. Otherwise, it is going to burn the rest of you as well. People who have this disease called leprosy, they lose the sensation. So that is why their hands, they keep on deteriorating, because they lose the sensation of the wearing down of the skin and other things that are happening. So if their hand catches fire, they will probably end up burning themselves, because it will not signal, neurons will not signal it is painful. Now, similar to that, because of our experience in this world, from time to time, Maya will keep on making us realize that this is not the right place for you. It will never give you that perfect satisfaction. It will give you the threefold miseries from time to time: Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik, and Adhyatmik. Miseries brought in by other people to you. It could be your relative, it could be some near and dear one, it could be anybody. Miseries brought in by your own mind. It will torment you with anger, jealousy, grief, anxiety, and all that stuff. And miseries brought in by the nature itself. Tornado will come, virus will come, earthquake will come. So Maya, the way it is designed is to keep on pushing you towards God. And now why it would push you towards God? It is the energy of God. If it is energy of God, it by de facto, by its constitutional position, it becomes its sevika. So when it is its sevika, it is doing its job to perfection. We are also energy of God. The problem with us is we are forgotten. So that is why we are suffering. So we are bhogifying this world. So bhog leads to rog, and yog leads you closer to rog. Which rog? ROG, realization of God. So both will lead you to rog. One is the true rog, and the other will take you closer to realization of God. So problem here is that we have forgotten our constitutional position. Maya, although it is a Jad Shakti, has not forgotten it's actually doing its job to perfection. It will give you a whack every now and then. And we will take that whack and we will have Kshanik Vairagya, and then we'll get up again and we'll say, bring on, let's start enjoying again. That is the problem that we face because we keep on forgetting. In Ramayana, this thing happens that Ram Bhagwan, he kills Bali, and Sugriv looks at it and tells Ram, oh my, what am I going to do with all this Rajpat? I'm sitting on my brother's dead body and this and that and all those kind of things. Just take me along with you. I will just help you find Mother Sita. What am I going to do with all this stuff? And so Ram gives him a very classic statement. He said, Mitra, because he had made him his friend, you are suffering from Kshanik Vairagya. Go do your Rajpat. Your Kishkinda needs you. Kshanik Vairagya means momentary Vairagya. And when do we have Kshanik Vairagya? We have Kshanik Vairagya when we go to hospital, when we go to Shamshan Ghat, when we hear Ram Nam Sat, or we see some tragedy or hear about some tragedy near and dear one, we immediately have detachment. Oh, there's nothing much in this world. But that Vairagya we soon overcome. Same thing happened with Sugriv also. 3 months monsoon went by, and then Ram Bhagwan had to send Lakshman to remind him, you've forgotten your promise. And this guy was happily eating grapes and seeing the Bhog Vilas dance and all that stuff. So this is the story of our life as well. We get detachment when we see some tragedy in life or go to hospital. Like Swamiji says, right? When you have to develop dispassion, detachment to world, just take a trip in a hospital. You will understand. Or when we go to some mortuary or those kind of things. But that vairagya does not persist. We forget it again back to the material world. But material world is doing its job perfectly. Maya, being a sevika of God, will continue to give you back from time to time. Till the time you completely become detached from Maya and start serving its master. Sevika does not, see, it's like this. Your servant, would the servant feel good if another servant starts serving that servant? Or would the servant feel good if the other servant is serving its master? We are servants of God, being an energy of God. Constitutional position is that to serve God. Maya is servant of God. And now being a servant of God, the other servant has started serving you. Why would Maya like it? It will say, go to my master, why are you coming to me? So it's doing its job to perfection. So Maya is neither good nor bad. It's simply doing its job, what it is supposed to do. So neither this philosophy that Maya is created for us to enjoy is correct, nor that Maya is bad. It is an energy of God. It can actually be channelized to serve God. We can use Maya to serve God. Lakshmi is an energy of God that can be used to serve God. Similarly, Maya can be used to serve God. You can use the mic to give a discourse, or you can use the mic to say, Summer of 69, sing that song, whatever you want to do, basically. So the thing in itself is not good or bad. Its utilization or the intent behind using it makes it good or bad. Right? So the Maya aspect of it, some people say, we are a sannyasi, we don't even touch money or this and that. Why are you scared of Maya? Maya is an energy of God. You utilize it for the service of God. It's nothing to be scared about. If your intent is clear and you're serving and using it for a higher purpose, sure. So that is also a misconception. Stay away from Maya. Maya, like this will happen, that will. Maya is the energy of God. Utilize it with a proper perspective and then keep on purifying your intention along the way. And then you get the other rogue, right? Realization of God. And that is the whole objective of the Maya, the concept of Maya. I mean, we can keep on going deeper on this concept, but I wanted to open it up for discussion. See, other aspect of Maya is it creates a hallucination in our mind as well. What kind of hallucination? We are in touch with our own dissatisfaction and discontent. We are not in touch with others' dissatisfaction and discontent. And so Maya creates an illusion. I'm not happy, but I know somebody who's happy because they have so and so and so things. You go to that person will say the same story. You know what? I am not entirely happy, but then I know somebody who's happy because they have so and so and so. And this hallucination or misfounded understanding continues forever across all the people. But our scriptures are telling us very clearly, nobody can be happy in this mic world because it's not meant to make you happy to begin with. You will keep striving for that one thing that will make you happy. It could be an acquisition of Twitter. It could be going to moon. It could be giving back to the society in form of, philanthropy. It could be trying to win in other elections. It could be some other agenda. But you can truly never become happy in this world until you turn towards God, because you are divine and the happiness that you are seeking is divine. And material world does not have the ability to fulfill it for you. It's like a beggar asking another beggar for happiness, and beggar going to a place which needs money to get money from. All right, so let's open it up for questions or any thing that we wanted to discuss based on what we have discussed today.
Nitinji, if I can take a question from the chat.
Sure.
Arti ji has asked about pain can also be pressure, right? So I think basically what she's trying to ask is, what about pain? What about pressure, not about pain? What if there's constant pressure?
Constant pressure, if you have and you can sustain it for a long period of time, then a coal can become a diamond. Okay. Anyways, forget about that part. But pressure is, again, see, pressure, if you can be a little more specific, I think we can take that. Pressure, is it an external pressure? Is it a self-enforced pressure, or is it just a squeeze somebody is applying? So Aarti ji has raised her hand, so let's understand that. Or is it an inflation pressure because the tomato prices are increasing? So let's understand that a little more.
Aarti ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Aarti ji.
हरिओम राधे
It's
राधे
always a
नितिन जी
pleasure to hear you. Please go ahead, and you can speak in Hindi. That's perfectly okay.
हाँ तो पल्लवी जी मैंने प्रेशर नहीं लिखा है, मैंने प्लेजर लिखा है, प्रेशर नहीं है, आप गलत
Oh,
पढ़ते
I'm
हो.
sorry. Yes. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's not
Okay.
pressure.
So I am
It's
asking
pleasure. Yeah, it was pleasure. Sorry
कि
about that.
नितिन जी ऑनेस्टली बोलूं, जैसे वो हाथ आग में देखा ना, मुझे एक अंदरूनी शांति मिली. गलत मत लीजिएगा. इनफैक्ट
अच्छा,
मैं
तो
उल्टा ऐसा सच में मैं प्रेशर कुकर की तरह बर्स्ट हो रही थी. आग में हाथ देके जैसे मुझे शांति मिल गई.
ओके, तो आपने प्लेजर की बात की. प्लेजर, the another definition of pleasure is long term pain in disguise. Okay, the pleasures, the material pleasure is a pain, long term pain in disguise, more often than not. That is how it's meant to be. So God is saying basically, don't go for pleasures. Pleasures also they call it shreyas and prayas and all that stuff, right? But
पर एक
whenever you
ऐसी चीज नहीं
indulge,
होती है कि
sorry,
अगर हम आधे दुखी होते हैं और उस दुख से थोड़ा जास्ती दुख मिल जाए तो पिछला दुख भूल जाते हैं.
So what is the point? आपका अभिप्राय क्या है? आप what are you
कि
trying to the
पेन
point
इज
you're trying
नॉट
to make?
बैड, मतलब पेन बुरा नहीं है. पेन इज एक्चुअली अनदर फॉर्म ऑफ प्लेजर. आई वांट टू से some people enjoy pain as I sometimes enjoy pain as pleasure, कि उसमें भी दुख में भी मुझे सुख की प्राप्ति जैसे का महसूस होता है.
Okay, जैसे for example अगर आप बताएं, जैसे हाँ, when we go out and do gymming, that pain actually is a good pain, right? We feel good after that nice workout around it. Is it something like that, or
हाँ,
more
या
like good
इनिशियल
that
कोई
you
भी
already survived?
इनिशियल कोई काम करने में हमें एफर्ट्स लगते हैं, लेकिन स्लोली वो एफर्टलेस हो जाता है. या ऐसा भी कह सकते हैं कि जैसे अगर ये कृष्ण लीलाओं में ही बात करें तो उनकी क्या बोलते हैं, विरह में भी सुख का आनंद है, क्योंकि उसी को ही याद करते रहते हैं.
हाँ, आपने बहुत गहराई वाली बात कर दी, very depth thing. That's when you take it in the spiritual realm, yes. In that case, everything is there to be gained for. तो हाँ, विरह में भी सुख है, but you are not talking about material stuff here, right? Or any example related to that. But yeah, when we do hard work, shreyas stuff, basically, which might give you pain in short term, but pleasure or satisfaction in long term, right? If you're talking about that, so then that is how it's meant to be there. But the short term pleasures that we go for in the material world, they more often than not are pain in disguise.
Okay, so only for material world, right?
True.
Thank
Bhagwan
you.
ke yahan to virah is considered even more than the milan part of it, right? Because that is in when you meet that bhav. I think we are getting into a different discussion altogether. But what you are saying is yes, there is a pleasure in that as well, right? From that sense, yes, great point.
Thank you. Radhe Radhe. Hari Om.
Radhe Radhe. Hari Om. Dhanyavad Aarti ji. Okay, a couple of other hands are there as well. So the point again, from a discussion standpoint, what we are discussing is Maya is one of the eternal entities. It is an energy of God, and its primary job function is to serve God, and it is doing its job to perfection. And it is a Jada Shakti. It is not a sentient Shakti. And we should not be surprised if things are not going as per the plan. There are multiple challenges that keep coming up in our life, or obstacles keep coming up our life. It should not be surprising for us, because it is how it's meant to. When you go to a jail, that is how it's meant to be. However, having said that, God has given us abilities to surmount those and come out of it better and stronger. This is not a game designed in such a way that you are going to be pulled down. It is a game which is designed in such a way so that you come out of it wiser, better, stronger, provided you have a right perspective. Yeah, and that is where spirituality is important. Otherwise, one bad incident in life will break somebody down, and then they'll not be able to lift themselves up.
Yeah, beautifully said, Nitinji. Can we take more hands, more questions?
Yeah, sure. We have time,
Preeti
right?
ji, yeah, Preeti ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Hi, yes. I used to think pain by people hurting me emotionally, or when I used to take it very seriously, and I used to feel really bad all the times. And once I realized and listened to Swamiji, it's like everything is for our own growth. It's like even the pain is given to you by God to make you grow. And I personally felt that way once I finished my cancer treatment, that's the highest time, that's the time I grew highest spiritually and had more realization than ever. So I agree, whenever God gives you something, is to make you grow.
Very
The
true.
pain is also given to make you grow.
True. Very, very true. Preetiji, very nicely said, and thanks for sharing your experience. Painful experience, the adversities, the tough times, they teach us lessons and they make us grow. See, expecting Maya to make life comfortable for us is like saying, can you please keep me promoting in the class without any tests or exams? Has it ever happened in our life? So these are all the tests that we have to keep clearing to keep progressing. And sometimes God gives us certain situations, certain challenges in our life, like PTG you said. And then when we reflect back on it, in hindsight, it teaches us lessons which actually gives our soul a jump of multiple lifetimes, because we have learned something very important going through that process. Maybe our surrender has increased, maybe our faith has increased, maybe our acceptance has increased, maybe our love for God has increased. Something it would have taught us around it, which can take multiple millions of lifetimes if we continue to have ordinary life. Yeah, if somebody is born with a silver spoon in mouth, no challenges to surmount, no obstacles to there, absolutely no depth would be there, right? So those kind of things can happen. So was it a life worth living in that case? Ordinary people will say, yeah, sure. But in God's eyes, in your eyes, it was not, because it was a complete waste if we could not extract some kind of a depth out of a human life. So thank you for sharing that, Preeti. Okay, few other hands, we can take those.
Thank you, Preetiji. Arunji, Radhe Radhe.
Arunji?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Arun?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
give
Radhe Radhe,
preference
please.
to camera. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe.
Yeah, just to clarify the whole discussion, right? So basically, Maya is an external energy of God, and since the job of it is to serve, that is the reason we get some of these shakes in life, so that we can, we can try to understand what the real purpose of everything is and turn towards God rather than going away from Him. But so how do I? So in the sense, if someone is somewhat a devotee of the Lord, then in that case, these shocks and these shakes will actually help him to restore or turn more strongly towards God. But when someone is not a devotee to begin with, this will break him, right?
It will break him if they have decided basically in that sense, or they have had no resilience whatsoever. Typically, the tests that are given to us are well within our ability.
Okay.
God will not give us a test which is beyond our ability. And they have given resilience to human beings to even survive the worst of earthquakes, where they may end up losing their entire families, or the tragedy of highest level. They have given us that ability. But then, through our free will, if we choose to stay in depression or continue to harbor negative thoughts, or decide that, become very negative in life, then it's a different matter. But God has given us ability. In fact, a lot of people, their life has taken a completely different turn after these kind of events. And if you look at it from that sense, maybe they picked up a lesson that would have otherwise would have taken them, I don't know how many lives, and they just changed their lives because of that. So in fact, it's a scary concept, but from a worldly standpoint, it is said when God starts giving His kripa, He starts snatching away the worldly attachments at that point.
Yeah. And just one other clarification. So how do I mean, so when someone goes through some bad karmas, basically when one of the, we sometimes say it's due to bad karmas, right? How do we relate the the karmas, how do we know something happens? It's because, it's done by, so that we can turn towards God, or is it just something we're meeting out the karma that we are supposed to be undergoing, any pains that we undergo?
See, whether it is a disease that we are dealing with in this life, or it is some karma or result of karma in this life, right? It's very difficult to know whether it is karmaj or doshaj. Doshaj means because of past. Karmaj means because of doshaj. Yeah, I think one of these two. Doshaj, I think, means it's because of your past karmas, and karmaj means because of your exercise of free will in your current life. Okay, which one is that? It's very difficult to know that. Right? There's no way for us to know. Having said that, typically when God gives us a prarabdha, He knows, what test would actually give us an opportunity to evolve. He will not see. It's like this: if somebody is given a test much beyond their ability, it will break them. And if somebody is given a test much below their ability, it will make them complacent or always in their comfort zone. So God always gives you where you are a little more than that, little bit of a stretch goal, like they give in corporates also, stretch goal, so that you improve. That is how He typically designs it. Now, for us, in order for us to meet that stretch goal, we need to have the right knowledge here and the right perspective. Otherwise, what will happen is we may become negative and dig further pit for ourselves that we'll have to climb over later on in life. And that is why spirituality ignorance is not a bliss. But typically He designs it that way so that it's within your ability and you can come out wiser, stronger, and better. The intent of Maya, or for that matter, giving you prarabdha, which anyway we have to deal with, is not to break you or to take some kind of it's not a vengeance kind of an agenda. It's to make you better so that you can come closer to God.
Okay, thank
and
you.
Every situation is designed that way only. If you have the right perspective, we can actually channelize it to change our life completely.
Thank you.
Beautifully explained, Nitinji. Thank you so much. Sandhya ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead. Thank you for waiting.
Radhe Radhe. First of all, there's an anonymous question in the chat. If Maya keeps tormenting us by sending people and creating situations that obstruct our seva repeatedly, then how to overcome that?
Seva repeatedly. No. So that means yeah, that's an interesting one. So yes, that means we don't have the required inspiration as yet. Okay? If we are finding so, if you are inspired and you are motivated, despite 1,000 obstacles, you'll find one reason to hang on to that seva and do it to the best of your ability. But if you're not, then you will find one reason why you should not do it. So it's a question to ask: if the big picture is clear in our head, who are we doing the seva for? End of the day, right? Is it because of these people, or because of for these people that are obstructing you? Or do we have the big picture in mind where we are saying, okay, no matter, no obstacle is big enough for me to not surmount it, because the end goal is so lucrative, because I'm doing it for God and Guru. So I think it's a matter of testing our inspiration. Maybe that is the God's way to test how inspired and committed we are. And we have to still find that one reason how to hang on to it. Otherwise, we'll keep on finding reason why not to do it. And seva is designed in such a way, it's a crash course on life. It's not meant to be a piece of cake where you just walk in and you are gliding through it. It will give you people that will press that button that troubles you the most. Okay, that is how seva is designed. God and Guru do it strategically. Okay, just so that we can evolve. And if some personality is repeating in your life, or some situation is repeating in your life in the seva world or otherwise repeatedly, that means that is a sure shot sign that is the test for you, that you are miserably failing. We have to really look at it in perspective. Okay, no obstacle is big enough to climb if you really put your mind to it and say, I have to do it for the sake of my God and Guru, and to hell with whoever comes in the way. I will find a way around it somehow. So it's a matter of inspiring ourselves more than anything else. And that will happen, trust me. You will never come across a seva where it's going to be a piece of cake. You will be challenged. You will come across people who will challenge you. And I'll tell you a story. Okay, So basically, in the Seva world, okay, if it is comfortable for you, I'll tell you a story of Maharaj Ji, okay, which I've heard. So he had created 5 tracks of Seva, and on top of it, he put a lady, okay, her name was, okay, I'll not name her, who would trouble those people like anything. Every day she'll find reasons, right? Some people have a problem for every solution. So that kind of a mindset. And these leads for those 4 or 5 tracks, they went to Maharaj and said, you know what, we are doing our seva perfectly and we can do it. We have got a very nice team. But why have you kept this lady who keeps on, pressing our nerves all the times? And he had a hearty laugh around it. He said, if I don't put her, how will they evolve? So seva is designed so that you evolve. If you are in a comfort zone, just doing Radhe Radhe every day, coming, speaking your mind out and having your way in every seva, right? Well, how will you evolve? So till the day those tests will continue to come. Yes, if you have become sthit pragya, then tests will go away. But till the time you have reached that, the seva world is designed to put you with people which will test your secret stash. Okay, if you have a lot of attachments, those will be challenged by people. If you have a lot of ego, they will force you to become humble. If you have a lot of attachment to your seva, they will challenge that so that you are forced to let go. So be prepared for that. That is how the seva world is designed. Nobody can have a perfect seva world in any way. And it works both ways, right? If you are being challenged, you are also returning the favor to a lot of people, knowingly or unknowingly. So when I work with a lot of people, I tell, usually I tell them upfront, you are challenging me, and as a matter of obligation, I have to return the favor to you. Okay. So I'm very upfront about it because I know that a lot of people will not like, hearing and talking certain things, but it's okay, perfectly okay. You have to take it on the chin for yourself and give it back so that they can also evolve in some way, right? So that is how it is designed, without having resentment or bitterness, of course. Okay.
I guess one thing I think from the perspective this question was coming was also like if your family is kind of becoming a challenge when you want to do seva, your family is not kind of, I guess, rather than being supportive, maybe being
it's a challenge. It can happen. I know it's a difficult one for sure because it's on the face you have to deal with, right? Then I think I don't know. I mean, I don't have. Maybe it's a question for Swamiji. You can ask. But what I've understood on some of the answers he has given on this topic is to define healthy boundaries. You're doing your responsibilities, and at the same time, you cannot have unhealthy boundaries. That everything my way only, and you are not allowed to do things which you think are beneficial for you. So we have to draw healthy boundaries in every relationship. Otherwise, it becomes a ticking time bomb. And ticking time bomb is not good, right? We have seen it in so many movies. When it explodes, a lot of destruction happens. So before it becomes a ticking time bomb, we can diffuse it by putting healthy boundaries around that relationship and being a little smart and tactical about it as well, right? Typically, like I told you my own story, when I started on this path, I was gaga over it with anybody and everybody to the point that it freaked people out around me. And it took me a while to understand where I was going overboard. And but then things worked out fine because people thought that something bad will happen. I'll become a Baba and all that stem. So, but when they realized, he's still normal, he seems still sane, and other than that, he's still talking similar kind of thing, then they were okay, assured. But it can unsettle people. All of a sudden, if you make a big change in your life, like I started doing malas and all that stuff, people freak out. So we got to be a little tactical about it, to raise the temperature incrementally and not raise it all of a sudden, which it's like you put a frog in hot water, boiling water, it will jump out. It will not be able to. But if you put a frog in a water and keep raising the temperature little, it will be able to, take it gradually. Same thing we have to do with people around so that they don't become uncomfortable and start putting obstacles in our life. So again, it's very contextual. So whatever works, but the key is we have to find ways around because it is an important part of our life, right? Spirituality is serious business. It is a matter of our soul. It is a matter of going closer to God, and it is a matter of where we end up after this life. Swarg, Narak, in other animal species or wherever. So it is an important decision in our life, and we need to find creative ways to continue on this path without creating too many obstacles around. Family can be a big obstacle for sure. Okay, giving up family is not an option.
Yes. Thank you, Nitinji. Great discussion. Yeah. Thanks, Sandhya ji, for the question.
But then if we develop enough dispassion and enough spiritual merit, then God will give us an inspiration to remain bachelor in next life, right? A lot of lucky people are here. But if you're not, then you are stuck. By the time you realize it, you're already married and you're surrounded by all the family members, right? So start working towards it. Maybe next life, God will arrange more favorable circumstances then. Yes.
Nilesh ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Yes, Nilesh ji.
So Nitinji, going back to the three journals of the Maya, right? The fame, power, and money. What my takeaway is, it's not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing.
The desire to have it more and more is okay, but the intent of why we need it, that has to be changed. So this goes maps back to the karma yoga, right?
True. Very true.
More money because I would like to donate 10% or 20% or X percent. That's why I would like to, or I would like to use my fame and power to do some seva, right? So, but that's the intent.
Very true.
That's the takeaway. So it's not, Maya is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yes, very true. In fact, it is not a bad thing at all. In fact, I asked this question to Swamiji that one of the things that I realize is professionally, I don't have motivation. Okay, too much to do, too much. So is it a good sign? Yeah. So Swamiji started laughing. See, he said that there are two ways to looking at it. One is you keep on climbing the corporate ladder so that you can earn more, so that you can give more. Yep. But he said it's a very devious path. Okay, you are just fueling your pride in the process, and in the process, what it will take you to get there would take a lot out of you. On the other hand, if you're happy what you are doing and you're able to meet ends and you're able to spend time on sadhana and seva, that is the best thing, he said. And keep on increasing the proportion of seva and sadhana in your life, because this serving the stakeholders and companies, this is not going to take you very far anyways, right? In life, you need to support it, fine. But if you make it a sole goal and you think by climbing it up, I'll do my seva, it is possible because your intent is clear. Typically, it takes away your mind space, right? You will get embroiled in so many things and stuff like that. But yes, to your point, if I think I'm going to become powerful so that I can exert my influence to, bring people into the spirituality or in this fold, great. It's very pure intent if you could channelize it that way. But typically these three things, they corrupt people. They lose sight of why they started off doing something, right? I was a big fan of Kejriwal and, these people, not that I'm, but eventually they started playing the same game because you don't know, maybe the intent to start off with was right, but eventually how it pans out, you don't know, because now you are in the same game. But yes, if you do Karam Yoga, then Maya in itself can be channelized for God's service in every possible way. It's a great point. Thank you. Okay, I know we are 10 to maybe last question. Chandan ji is a new hand, and then we have to make announcements and get into our wrap up our session formally, because it's a great discussion. We'll continue a little bit more tomorrow before we move into Jeeva Shakti aspect of it. Chandan ji, please go ahead. Last question.
Chandan ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
राधे राधे भैया। भैया मैं क्या हिंदी में बोल सकता हूँ?
हाँ जी, बिल्कुल आप हिंदी में बोल सकते हैं। इनफैक्ट हिंदी मेरी मुझे बहुत प्रिय है। मैं हर एक मौका ढूंढता हूँ हिंदी बोलने का प्रयास करने के लिए, तो प्लीज कृपया करके आप हिंदी में बोलिए।
ओके भैया, थैंक यू भैया। अभी जैसे पार्टिसिपेंट ने भैया उन्होंने क्वेश्चन किया था कि अगर कोई डिवोटी नहीं होता है तो क्या उसको मतलब लाइफ उसको शैटर कर सकती है क्या? लेकिन ऐसा नहीं होता है भैया। जैसे कि मैं स्पोर्ट्स खेलता हूँ भैया, तो स्पोर्ट्स में भी भैया जो लोग होते हैं वो लोग अपने आप को हमेशा पुश करते रहते हैं, और उसमें जो है वो लोग डिवोटी नहीं है किसी चीज के, लेकिन वो लोग डिवोटी हैं इस चीज के कि मतलब अपने आप को पुश करना है आगे। तो वो जो पुशिंग अपना होता है वही अपने आप में मतलब एक जो कि कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है डिविनिटी का, वही अपने आप में मतलब ऐसी चीज होती है कि आपको हमेशा वो जॉय देती है जो मतलब आप ऐसे नॉर्मल चीजों में पाएंगे नहीं। तो वो एक चीज आपके हमेशा आपके पास रहती है। तो वो डिवोटी एक तो होता है कि थेरेटिकल हम कहते हैं कि हम डिवोटी हैं, लेकिन एक्चुअली में तो सभी डिवोटी ही होते हैं। हमें मतलब मेरा उनको मतलब ऐसा होता है, जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल भैया प्रोफेशनली भी ऐसे मैं जिनको मैं देखता था, ऐसे विराट कोहली हो गया, फिर और मैं एक्चुअली खेलता था क्रिकेट और अपना टेबल टेनिस, तो उसमें मैं इन लोगों को देखता हूँ कि भैया इन लोगों में वो एक अपने आप को पुश करने का, जैसा कि स्वामी जी बताते हैं कि वो पुश करने का रहता है वो एलिमेंट, तो वो एलिमेंट सब में रहते हैं। तो आई फील कि वो एक डिविनिटी ही तो है जो मतलब हम लोगों को हमेशा आगे पुश करती रहती है।
ट्रू, वेरी ट्रू।
वो मुझे बस वही बस बताना था। अभी एक कल को एक क्यूरियोसिटी रेज हुई थी भैया कि वो एनर्जीज को लेकर के कि भैया आई फेल्ट कि भैया वो जैसे ग्रॉस एनर्जी और सटल एनर्जी की जो जैसे संध्या दीदी ने एक क्यूरियोसिटी रेज की थी। तो जैसे भैया ग्रॉस एनर्जी, जैसे भैया मैं बस एक पूछना था आपसे भैया कि जैसे मैं जैसे भैया ये जो मेरे सामने जो ऑब्जेक्ट्स होते हैं मैं इनको देखता हूँ, तो इनको मैं ये टैंजिबल है, मैं इनको छू सकता हूँ, इनके शेप्स होते हैं। तो जैसे भैया जो मोर सटलर एनर्जी जैसे होती है, फॉर एग्जांपल मैं इस वक्त छत पे खड़ा हूँ, तो धूप आ रही है, तो मैं आई कैन फील द हीट, द इंफ्रारेड जो रेडिएशन जो उसमें है, जो हीट जो एक्चुअली मेरे सेंसेशन जो क्रिएट करती है, तो भैया इज दैट आई फील कि वो सटल एनर्जी ही है क्या?
हाँ, कल हम बात कर रहे थे, तो एक ग्रॉस एनर्जी है जो कि पदार्थ हमें सामने दिख जाते हैं, प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण मिल जाता है जिनका, राइट। और कुछ सटल एलिमेंट हैं, हम जिन चीजों की बात कर रहे थे, जैसे प्रकृति, महान, अहंकार तत्व है, उनको हम देख नहीं सकते, स्थूल पदार्थ नहीं है वो, तो वो सूक्ष्म पदार्थ हैं। और उन्हीं से फिर पंच तन मात्रा, वो भी सूक्ष्म है, वो देख नहीं सकते हम, और उसी में से फिर वो पंच महाभूत निकलने शुरू होते हैं। ईथर से को हम देख नहीं सकते, एयर को देख नहीं सकते, और वो अग्नि से स्टार्ट होता है जो हम देख सकते हैं। और जल को हम कर सकते हैं, एयर को फील कर सकते हैं, एंड वी कैन स्मेल द अर्थ पार्ट ऑफ इट। तो आई थिंक वो स्थूल और सूक्ष्म पदार्थ, यही डिफरेंस है उनमें, जो भेद है। बट हम इस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक पे और डिटेल में जाएंगे आगे। बट आपके पॉइंट्स बहुत अच्छे हैं, आई थिंक तत्व ज्ञान आपने बहुत पढ़ा हुआ है, बहुत ही गुड बातें की आपने। तो चंदन, वेयर आर यू जॉइनिंग अस फ्रॉम, एंड हाउ लॉन्ग यू बीन जॉइनिंग दीस सेशंस फॉर?
या एक्चुअली मैं कल ज्वाइन किया, मुझे किसी ने रेफर किया, तो मैं यहाँ पे आया। तो बट बहुत तो वही कल से ज्वाइन किया है।
Okay, very nice to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you more, Chandan. बहुत अच्छे points दिए आपने, विराट कोहली and एक divinity है which is pushing us to become better version of ourselves, right? So technically everybody is a devotee in the sense that they are pushing themselves, they're trying to become better version of themselves, and they are seeking happiness. Seeking happiness means seeking God, because God is happiness. So technically everybody is a devotee. They don't know it, right? But they are actually seeking God only. और we'll continue on this topic. I know हमारा time जो था 10 बजे तक था, we have overshot that time, and we transition into our devotional segment. So let's transition into that, and we'll continue this engaging discussion tomorrow. Let's make the quick announcements that we have, especially give or get Tuesday, Saturday that is coming up. Pallaviji, over to you, and then we can move on to our devotional segment.
Yes, thank you, Nitinji. So the first announcement is about the special inspiring gathering for giving Swamiji a special gift on his birthday. The campaign is Give and Get campaign. So this is going to launch on Saturday, December 17, 10 a.m. CST. I'm going to post the Zoom link in the chat. Please do join. This is a very, very special program. So please do join. The next announcement is about Swamiji's India tour. The upcoming tour, which recently happened, is in Hyderabad, 10 to 14 December. And upcoming tour is going to be in Bangalore, 16 to 18 December, Banara, 25 to 31st December, and Vapi, 5 to 6 January. And there are other tour information will keep going on as we move on. And I'll post the link in the chat window as well. There is Bhakti Yog Sadhana Sivir, which is going to commence in Banara, date 25th to 31st December. This is going to be in Banara, Odisha. So these, for all these details of the events, I'm going to put in the chat window.
And please fill out the feedback tracker. You have already put in.
Yes, I have posted the feedback tracker for your feedback, comments, and questions. Please do put in your comments and feedback. Nitinji will personally take a look at it and definitely get back to you on your questions.
Great. So we had a great discussion today. We'll continue on this topic tomorrow. Yes, Sandhya, you had a question. I wanted to know something. You're going to sing today.
I actually first wanted to just add for the Banara Shivir that we can also register online. So like those of us who can't go there have the opportunity to attend it online as well at a very nominal cost. So consider that. It's on Patanjali Yog Sutra lectures by Swamiji.
Good. And all the best to people who are going to meet Swamiji in Hyderabad, Bangalore, and all the places. And please do send your pictures. Probably we can flash it like a collage in one of the sessions. I have seen pictures and bits and pieces. It'd be good to collect those and show there and inspire others to meet as well.
Yeah, the 2-year anniversary special sessions, we can actually have the collage also.
Right. And if you have not signed up, please do that for the 2-year anniversary session. When are we going to do 2 years is yet to be decided, but we'll definitely do it. And
where are we signing up, Nitinji? In the feedback tracker?
Yeah. The feedback tracker, mention that, and then Pallavi will take care of you after that. Okay.
Yes, I will do that. Yeah. Very excited to have this day when we are celebrating the 2nd anniversary.
When did
and
we
it
start?
feels like it is something happened just few days ago or something like that. It feels so fast. It passed by so fast.
I know 2 years have passed by, and I don't know, when did we start? 18th or 25th?
It was 1st January was the first class.
I know
January
officially,
20.
but before that we did an information session. I still remember that. I was told that we have to start Bhagavad Gita session next week. I said, oh my God. And then it said, okay, we'll do it maybe once or twice a week. Every day. I asked Swamiji, every day Bhagavad Gita, who will attend every day session? And there are sessions, and he said, no, there is demand. I said, my fate is sealed. And I'm so glad he said every day. You get into a rhythm. If it's 1 or twice a day, I personally, every day is much better routine now when I look back at it. So Swamiji is visionary, right? He understands what would have worked better. I'm so glad it happened, and we all are reaping the benefit of it now. It has become part of our routine. So beautiful. So we'll do something. We'll sing, and we'll have few things planned for that session. So look out for that. Might be traveling around that time, but I will be taking all the sessions. So that's going to be awesome. So with that, we come to the end of our knowledge session, but the devotional segment begins, and I can see a couple of hands already, I think. So let's get into our few chants, and then we can wrap up today's session. And tomorrow we will continue on this topic, maybe wrap up Maya and get into the Jeeva Shakti aspect of it.
Definitely. All right, Sandhya ji, all set? Please go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, Sandhya, go ahead. We are all ears.
We are all ears.
We are going to spotlight you as well.
Okay.
Go ahead.
रघुराज कहीं अधुराज कहीं तुम रूप अनूप दिखाते हो कभी धनुष बाण धरि आते हो कभी बंशी मधुर बजाते हो जय जय राम जय जय श्याम जय जय राम जय जय श्याम जय जय राम 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 जय जय श्याम 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 Jai Jai Ram Ram Ram, Jai Jai Sham Sham Sham. That's it.
कभी धनुष बाण धरि आते हो, कभी बंसी मधुर बजाते हो. It's a beautiful bhajan, right, for Ram and Krishna, so I love it. And that there's another line which I love very much, which is said, कभी तीर चलाते हाथों से, कभी नैनन बाण चलाते हो. Right? Very nice. It's a very beautiful bhajan. Check it out on YouTube. Swamiji has sung it very beautifully, and very nice bhajan. Basically, it tells Ram and Krishna are both the same. So sometimes he does this leela, sometimes he does that leela, sometimes he's, throwing the arrows from his eyes, and sometimes using the dhanush bird, depending upon the leela which it is. Thank you, Sandhya, for doing that. Beautiful. And we send you a heart, okay, for the beautiful singing that you did. So thank you so much for that. Yes, Manishi, you wanted to do that? Today we have 2 hands, so we can wrap it up quickly.
Yeah.
Sunita,
Thank you,
Sunita,
Sandhya
you
ji.
need to find her out.
Yeah, I don't see Sunita ji.
Yes, Manishi,
I'll
please
see.
go ahead.
Yes. Radhe
Yeah,
Radhe,
Radhe
Manishi.
Radhe.
Please go ahead.
Wonderful bhajan, Sandhya ji. I just do a simple bhajan. Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patit Pavan Sitaram. Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patit Pavan Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram, Bhajaman Pyare Sitaram, 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 Bhajaman Pyare Sitaram. Ishwar Allah Tero naam, sabko sammati de Bhagwan. Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patit Pavan Sitaram. Thank you for the opportunity, Radhe Radhe.
Beautiful, Manishi, and you also get a heart for the beautiful and soulful singing that you did. So thank you so much for that. And thank you everybody for your enthusiastic and engaging participation like you always do. And please keep inspiring your friends and family to join this beautiful satsang family that we have. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We'll continue on our discussion. I think Maya will pretty much wrap up, maybe see one of Swamiji's video, and then transition into the Jeeva Shakti, which is the special people who we are. We are going to talk about it and how we are losing the battle. Even though we are sentient, we are Chetan, we are losing the battle against the Jad energy of God, right? It's a Jad versus Chetan battle, and Jad has taken adhipatya or control over us. How sad it is. We'll talk about that tomorrow. So look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Radhe Radhe, and have a wonderful day and a great rest of your evening ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Nitinji, so much for such an awesome session. And thank you, all of you, for your wonderful participation. Stay blessed, stay safe. See you all tomorrow. Radhe
See you all
Radhe.
tomorrow. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe.